All right, the last sequence we're getting into here is our hips, part of our shoulder and back series. So now we're just going to tap down into these hips. Again, another area that tends to be pretty problematic for most of us. And again, the major culprit, sitting. So we're going to start in his tabletop position. So I'm going to Johnny on all fours again. Knees right underneath his hips. Get those hands right underneath the shoulders. And all we're going to start here is with a little hip rotation. So I'm going to have Johnny pull his left heel up towards his butt as far as he can. He's going to do his best to be conscious about keeping that foot inside ankle bone high shape, heels away. And we're going to start by bringing that knee into flexion right towards his chest. He's going to get up as far as he can. He's going to hold there. Now he's going to come out to the side, try to keep that knee up to the sky. And you notice chest is staying square, hips are square. He's going to try to kick that knee straight back to point back at this wall behind me so we can get into extension. He's going to hold there and then slowly lower. And now we're going to reverse that motion. He's going to kick straight back up. We're going to rotate, drop that ankle in, and then try to bring that knee all the way up to your armpit, in and down. That's one full rotation. Now Johnny's going to go back through it again, try to make a nice big smooth circle without breaking it apart this time. And that's your whole goal. Again, we're just moving this leg through space, really targeting this hip. And getting these nice full rotations. You're going to get a minimum of 3 of these, work your way up to 5, maybe 10. You can mess with speeds and stuff, but at first, work them nice and slow, get them nice and big, feel this hip work. Get John, we'll get one more this way, we'll reverse it. Beautiful, there you go. Nice. All right, before we switch sides, we're going to stay on this hip. I'm going to have Johnny step his right leg back. When he steps it back, we're going to go into a little bit of a corner, so he's pressing down to that 4th and 5th pivot point, his heels away. Now we're going to just work for rotation in this front hip. Slide this knee back just a little bit, Johnny. We want this thigh nice and vertical from the side. If Johnny were to look down at his thigh from the front, it should be vertical straight up and down. His top of the foot is going to be placed heel away here. And now we're going to start just with rotation. I'm having him go external first, so that foot's going to go in as far as he can, and rotating into the joint. And then we're going to come back out, go internal. This is going to be the harder motion for most of you. Good, and then we're going to work that back in. Now again, we're just trying to isolate this joint, and we're working it into an internal and external motion, connected to the low back, so this might feel good on your low back too. And we'll work 15 reps plus here. Again, if one side's feeling better than the other, if you notice one side's stuck compared to the other, this is where you can focus a little bit more on that stuck side. Let's get one more here, Johnny. External rotation, internal, cornering of that hip. Good, go ahead and relax. Let's flip around so they can see the other side. We'll go into the hip cars on that right hip now. Same setup, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath hips. If this is a lot of pressure, this tabletop on your wrist, we can just walk the hands forward a little bit if need be, if that's a lot of pressure. All right, now he's going to start with that right hip. Heel's going to come up towards his butt as far as he can. He's inside ankle bone high, heel away. I'm going to start by going into flexion. He's pull out, lift that leg up. We're going to spin that knee to point straight back behind. Get into extension. Nice, Johnny. There we go. And then we're going to lower. You see, this is work. These aren't easy things. So if it's hard for you to move this leg through space like this, it's something you should practice every day. Because again, we're just moving our limb. There's no resistance here except gravity. Nice. There we go. And again, you notice Johnny's trying his best not to do too much bending in his spine, not a bunch of motion up here in the front. We're trying to just isolate this hip. All right, go and relax there. Let's kick the left leg back, corner that heel out, top of the foot down. Good, and we're going to work his internal and external rotation on this side now. Or his bow, and then his corner when he goes internal. And he's pivoting. This is his pivot point on the knee. Doing again, when you go internal here, pay attention to this hip. It's going to really want to hike up. It'll move a little bit. There's going to be movement with all these things being connected, but be mindful that this hip doesn't hike up too far and you don't get too much crunching on this side we're working. Let's get one more there. Good, go ahead and relax. I'm going to have Johnny come back to tabletop position. From here, we're going to start with his right leg. He's going to bring his right foot right outside his right hand. And then he's going to reach and take that left leg back as far as he can while keeping this knee above the ankle on the front side. Now, before we go into this stretch, I'm going to have Johnny press the back foot down, his heels away. He's going to lift the knee up and try to spin it into his corner, and then he's going to set it back down. Eyes are gonna be up and forward, chest is up, and then we're gonna press and try to get into those hips a little deeper. And again, we're getting to the stretches, minimum, minute. 2 minutes is great, 3 minutes bonus. Think of all the years that we're undoing here. Years of old patterning. It's not just gonna happen in one session that we open things up. It'll give a temporary relief, but that's why these things gotta get consistent. All right, after you've held for about a minute, upwards of 2, we're gonna start going into a twist. So I'm gonna have Johnny walk his hands forward just a little bit. He's gonna press down into his left hand on the outside edge, and he's gonna twist his right arm open. And then he's gonna come right back down to the ground and just keep doing reps like that. Pull the elbow tight, keep it by the body so we get a nice full rotation. Again, you notice he's looking up towards the sky too, getting that cervical spine involved, not just twisting from the thoracic. 15 reps here. If you want to get a little more, you can get a little more. Let's do one more, Johnny. All right, from here we're gonna go into what we call Breezy Stretch. So he's gonna come back up to a half kneeling position or like a half lunge. He's gonna twist open to his right side. He's gonna reach his right hand back towards that heel. He's gonna twist his left arm out in front. And with his forearm and thigh here, the palm will be turned down. I want you to press forearm into thigh, thigh into forearm. Create a little isometric here. Good. Try to turn the head, look back towards that heel actually. Then same thing, minute minimum. If you can hold it longer, hold it longer. And then if you can sink deeper, you can sink deeper. We're always paying attention to feet, making sure we're keeping that straight foot, that inside ankle bone's up. Good, Johnny's slowly gonna release this, and hands are gonna come frame the feet now, and we're coming into our pigeon stretch. We're gonna keep it within our GOATA math, so he's gonna bring that shin down. He's gonna reach his back foot across the body just a little bit. Corner that thigh again, so that thigh's moving internal. Then he's gonna pull his right arm and hip back. Try to get that stretch in the hip. And he's gonna reach his left arm forward. Yep, and keep that right elbow on the ground. His right elbow will stay down. Yep, and then reach this hand forward. And again, hold, we're in a stretch. 2 to 3 minutes, eyes will be forward. Make sure we keep the weight and pressure into this hip, that the hips don't just fall off to this side. We want to keep the pressure here, keep that nice stretch. All right, and from this position now, we're gonna go into some pigeon rockers. So Johnny's gonna stay in the same position, and he's gonna just rock back forward, and he's gonna slide right back and drop into that right hip. And you're gonna notice this right arm and shoulders packing back, and he's coming and releasing onto that left side. Back leg is cornering. Think of reaching this back leg across the midline of your body. That'll help you get a little deeper in that hip. Let's get one more, John. Good, relax. We're gonna turn it around and we'll go through that same sequence on the opposite leg now. So we're bringing left leg forward. We're gonna go into our Groiner Stretch first. Johnny is gonna get this knee set right above the ankle. He's got that straight foot, outside edge. Back shin and foot press down, and then we're gonna really corner that back hip in. Good, walk the hands forward just a teeny bit. And we're just gonna hold into this stretch now. Eyes up, shoulders just gently pulling down. And again, you might get it more here, you might get more into your hip, you might feel it mostly on this right hip side, that's where we're actually trying to target. But again, other things might light up, so wherever you're feeling it is good, there's no right or wrong. Good, now he's gonna go into his twist, so he's gonna press this right hand down, pull the left elbow back, twist open to the sky, nice, rotating that head, and then back, and we'll alternate here again, back and forth, trying to get a nice full rotation. Again, really anchoring into the hand that's on the ground, that outside edge pressed down so we can twist open. Back foot and shin are always pressing down. These are little cues you want to keep in mind. That again, that's going to help us from just dumping into the joints. We're keeping a little muscular integrity here. Last one. Good, now let's bring this leg forward. We'll go back into our pigeon stretch. So John is gonna get that left shin onto the mat, all the way down into our pigeon. Yep. Good, and then we'll reach right leg back. And we'll pull left hip, left arm back, bring that left elbow to the mat down here, to the turf. There we go. Palm will turn up on this left hand, right arm reaches forward. Again, I want you to reach. Try to reach the hand in front of your opposite one. Yep, so now we're getting a good lengthening across the cornering side here, and then he's getting a good stretch here on this left side. Again, 2 to 3 minutes, we're gonna hold. And after we hold, we're gonna bring some motion back in the area. So now we'll start going into our pigeon rockers. Johnny's gonna rock forward and open up. Dropping into this left hip, sliding forward. And then you notice his eyes are staying up, his head's dropping into this left side. When he comes forward and out, his head's gliding into his right column. Let's get one more, Johnny. Good, there we go. Relax. Let's flip all the way onto your back. Let's get this mat. All right, for this next stretch, you might need a strap, depending on how open you are. We're gonna see. Again, we're finishing here on the ground to close out this little sequence, kind of relax the system. I'm gonna have Johnny bend both his legs up, and he's gonna cross his right ankle on top of his left thigh. Now, Johnny has the ability here to grab behind his thigh, his left leg, and he's gonna lay all the way back down and bring that thigh with him. Now he's gonna pull this thigh towards him, and as he's pulling this thigh towards him, we're gonna think of pushing this opposite knee away. He can even use his elbow to push a little more away if he can't get much on his own strength. We're gonna lay here now. This is a stretch. Johnny, again, is gonna tap into his breath. We're gonna do our best to keep our spine nice and long, so I want you to think of gently retracting the shoulder blades back. And we wanna think of trying to keep a little extension in that lumbar too, because that's gonna give us a better stretch on the left side. Now, if for some reason you can't get in this position and hold, we'll use a strap. So let's go and flip to the other side, Johnny, and show him how we do it with the strap. So the opposite left leg. Good, and then we're just strap up, yeah, behind that thigh, right? Do you want it longer, or is that fine half? That's good. Okay. And then Johnny's gonna be able to lay back now and keep at arm's length, and he can slowly start progressing into this stretch. Pulling thigh in, pressing shin out. And again, don't let the body go into full flexion here. We still want to think of keeping that spine long as we're holding this stretch, and that's going to give us more juice here. And again, his shoulders are gently pulling back, so he has a little lift to his chest. And then again, breathe. And all these stretches, breathe. It's going to be your friend. You'll notice when you find really tense stretches and we'll tend to hold tension in our face, we'll breathe a little quicker. That's why I want to focus on relaxing the breath. Nice full inhales, try to extend the exhales out longer. Right, again, we're going to release here. And as we release, before we come out, we're going to lay back into our Shavasana. So legs are going to be out straight, about width of the mat, arms out. And then Johnny's just going to check in with his body here. We just dove into the hips a little bit. So I want him to just keep his eyes closed and breathe, and then just check in with this whole region here. Hips, groin, lower abdomen region, low back region, his whole hips too, or whole spine as well. And then this is where we'll end. I didn't know how to end that.